We got Phillies talk. We got Eagles talk. But we got to kick off with some Sixers talk today. Last night's Sixers game is going to encapsulate everything that could be wrong with this final home stretch of games for the Sixers. The flaws and failures of this team really showed last night. And that's not me overreacting or anything. We're going to talk Sixers, Eagles, Phillies today. Kylie Sullenberg from Bell Smashers Pod, Philadelphia Sports Network at 9 a.m. Guys, training the AM, taking your thoughts and opinions live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill. Hit those like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet buttons out. Wherever you are watching, make sure you hit those buttons, any buttons, all buttons, just to make sure you get as many people to find this morning show. All week long, all we've done is hear people complain about the radio and the media in Philadelphia. So make sure you're telling everybody you see every day. Don't worry about those people. Don't listen to those people. Tune in right here, Trending in the AM, the number one morning show in Philadelphia. I greatly appreciate it. And I am your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge. If I'm on it, that's where you can find me. So make sure you check that out as well, guys. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the beginning part of the show today. And like I said in the cold open, we got lots to talk about today. We're going to start a new segment. We've been doing Wednesdays with Justin Crosby for most of the Sixers season. So starting today, we are going to be doing Phillies Phridays. And I say that with a Friday spelled with a PH with Kylee. She writes for the Philadelphia Sports Network, Phillies coverage. She hosts a great podcast, Bell Smashers Pod. She's going to be my Friday Phillies check-in person all baseball season long, all summer long. So she'll join us at 9 a.m. Obviously, there's all this media stuff circulating with A.J. Brown, the Eagles. Unfortunately, I want to get off of that, but it's not with a positive thing because we've got to talk Sixers a bit today. And I want to talk Sixers for sure. Good morning, Adam. How you doing this morning? Hope you are well. Kylie in the house. She can't wait for 9 a.m. She's got to check in. We will see you in just a little bit, Kylie. But Sixers, last night, come out of the All-Star break at home against the New York Knicks, and they drop a 16-point game, 110-96 to the New York Knickerbockers. And you're going to hear a lot of excuses on why the Sixers lost last night. You know, they were, a little cold from coming off the All-Star break. They're still not fully healthy. This, that, and the third. And I'm trying so hard to stay positive on this Sixers team. I really, truly am. I want to be positive on this Sixers team. But I hate to say that it's tough to be positive. So I watched last night's game, and while Tyrese Maxey had a great individual performance, there was so many holes on that team last night. And I know not having Joel Embiid is a big part of that. But you're trying to tread water. You're trying to survive. You're trying to dead man's float till Joel comes back. Well, you got to put out a better effort than what we saw last night. And throughout this opening part of the show, I'm going to call out quite a few people that I think got to do more, have to do more, or we are going to lose a lot more games and win until Joel Embiid comes back. Yes, Adam, Tyrese Maxey had a great game. He put up, 35 points. Let's see. I pull up box score. 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Did have 4 turnovers, which is unlike him. Shot an okay percentage from the field. But he was the only one that really showed up with any intensity or intensity, integrity, intelligence, the 3 eyes. He's the only one that really showed up. And he was the only one that played in the All-Star. Didn't get the full week and change off. Let's be honest, the Sixers have one of these games every year. See, I hate that excuse. I hate that. They've had games like this before too, this year. Their first, clunker of a game. And clunkers happen. And I'm not going to stay focused for the Cavs game. But if last night's game was more of what's to come versus just a clunker of a game, we got big issues. If last night was just a clunker of a game, we still have issues with this team. I mean, every team was coming out of the All-Star break. Every team was cold in the NBA. A lot of back-to-backs yesterday to today. I think every team played yesterday. What's up, Marshawn? We're going to crush the Sixers for the first half hour. I'm going to crush Daryl Morey for the first half hour. I'm going to crush several players for the first half hour of this show. And it starts with let's start with the players that disappointed. Because Daryl Morey could have improved upon some of these players at the deadline. But he chose not to. Okay? First and foremost, Paul Reed, Tobias Harris, Nicholas Batum. And I know Batum has been injured, hasn't played in like 3-4 weeks. He just didn't look ready to play. But those three starters last night combined for 9 points. You had three starters combined for 9 points last night. Paul Reed and Mo Bamba off the bench, his 5 minutes in the first half, just complete atrocious. The fact that Daryl Morey did not improve the backup center spot with Andre Drummond because he didn't want to include a second round pick to the Bulls for Andre Drummond. And I'm not even saying Andre Drummond is the real deal. But that backup center spot till Joel comes back, it's atrocious. Tobias Harris, the fact that you did not want to trade him to Detroit for Bogdanovich and Burks. Look at what they did last night. Look at what Tobias did. I am the biggest Tobias Harris supporter there is. But there is a time, and that time is now, where it might be time to consider putting Tobias on the bench, making him just part of the rotation and not a starter. Tobias Harris was bad last night. And the Knicks were just as shorthanded and banged up and guys that are new to the team and this and that. Not a good performance from Tobias Harris. And Batum, he may get a slight pass because he's just coming back from a hamstring issue, but still pretty bad. What kind of leader is Tobias Harris? Clearly, he isn't leader by example. Tobias Harris has had probably, in my opinion, his worst season as a Sixer. It's funny. I saw a video of him in the three-point contest back when he was in LA. I didn't even know he was in a three-point contest ever. It was just a funny video that cleared my thing. You watched last night. You could have had Bogdanovich. Instead, you let him go to the Knicks, a team you're chasing in the playoff standing, because you don't want to give Tobias. Just imagine if you would have gotten Bogdanovich and Burks for Tobias Harris. Bogdanovich would be starting in his place, and Burks would be coming off the bench. Instead of, trying to think of KJ Martin. I know KJ Martin's a young, maybe hopeful player, but he's not 21 minutes a game. He had 6.7 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block. Yeah, he had an okay game. Only a -1 on the field or on the court. Just think about that. It's bad. Really, really bad. Kyle Lowry, I mean, he had a solid game for his first game with the Philadelphia 76ers. Made like 11 points. He showed that he's got that leadership. He's coach on the court and whatnot. He's slow as can be, in my opinion, at this point. But he's still a really solid basketball player. He was the least of the problem. How about we put it that way? Kyle Lowry was the least of the problems. Tobias was awful. It was. You got to put a lot of A's in there. In fact, I would have probably put a whole row of A's because he was awful. Not awesome, awful last night. Tobias had 7 points and 4 rebounds. Kyle Lowry was better than him. So the question is, does Nick Nurse have the guts to bench him? But even if you bench him, what are you going to do? Start KJ Martin? Kelly Oubre, I guess, but then that hurts your bench. I guess when Melton comes back, tonight or tomorrow, whenever Sixers play. Do they play tonight, the Sixers? I think it's tonight. Maybe Melton starts and you have a very small backcourt and you have a Melton, Healed, Maxey starting trio with Batum and Paul Reed. I don't know. But at this point, playing Tobias Harris more than 20 minutes a game, it's just not productive at all. Detroit wanted Grimes over anything else the 76ers had. Yes, they did want Grimes, but there were a lot of reports, Brett, that they wanted Tobias Harris. And there were many reports out there that Daryl Morey did not want to move on from Tobias Harris under any circumstance. His contract expires. It's going to be funny. I think it was Deebs from EOP, or I forget who it was, or maybe it was Sean Bernard. Both guys have been on the show many times. Put out a tweet that Sixers Nation's going to freak out when Daryl Morey gives him a 3-year, like $50 million extension in the offseason. Harris took more threes in that contest than he did in his last 20 games. Yeah. Well, he made more in that contest. 11 points, 3 assists, and Kyle was barking at everyone for missing rotations. That was some really good, strong leadership. It's tough for a guy, no matter how old you are, how long you've been in the league, to come in and on your first day really take that leadership. Thank you very much, Adam. Muchas gracias. I appreciate it. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for that. Buy Melissa something nice. It's Melissa's birthday today. It's my sweet Penelope's birthday today. So the queen of pizza making in Kennett Square's birthday is today. Come say happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Melissa. And happy birthday to my Penelope. She made it to 13. Her heart's not doing too well, but you know what? She's still a happy girl. So, happy birthday to the 2 girls in my life. If Lowry didn't get injured, he would have played better. He got banged in the head. Had to get some stitches. Came back. And he's still barking out, taking control. I love it. I crushed the Kyle Lowry pickup, and I was wrong. I'm glad I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Cavs win by 54 tonight. I'll take the under 54 on that line. But if you set it at 40, I'm not sure. Not sure. Adam, MVP. Adam is always my MVP, man. I love the guy. Much appreciated. Wife pace with Embiid 63 wins, or win pace without 23. Anyone? Dude, Brett, spot on. 1,000% spot on. Anyone that criticizes Embiid or wants to trade him or says he's not the MVP is just pure insane. Pure insane. That is right. You even spelled my last name right. I like it. Well, yeah, I did compliment Kyle Lowry. I did. You know why? Because he was outside of Tyrese Maxey. He was the only one giving 110% effort on the floor last night. Buddy Hield played a Buddy Hield game. Buddy Hield last night played what I expected Buddy Hield to be when he got here. Buddy Hield, his first couple games, whoa, we saw so much more than I expected of him. And he might not be that great, and he might be better than he was last night, but he had an off game. The intensity wasn't there. Kelly Oubre, you get what you get from Kelly Oubre. Man that runs 110 miles an hour, does some sloppy things, and does some great things. But Kyle Lowry was the second best player on the court for the 76ers last night. And I didn't expect to have to say that. I didn't. And I know we're still not 100%. Batum is still going to take some time to work himself back into things. I mean, he's missed a lot of games this year in general, not just recently. Melton will be back tonight. But, what do you really expect out of him other than you're going to have to protect him and whatnot? We've got a problem. And I suggest maybe benching Tobias Harris. Is it even a possible scenario? Not will he or could he, but should he? Because are you really going to start KJ Martin or DeAnthony Melton with Hield and Maxey? I mean, Nick Nurse spoke before the game yesterday and said that Hield, Melton, Lowry would all be competing for and I think he put Oubre's name, competing for the 5th starting spot. meaning basically that Harris, Batum are going to be starters no matter what, which isn't good. But even if you do bench Tobias Harris, who do you play in his place? You really run with 3 under 6'5" guards and Maxey, Hield, and Melton with Batum and Paul Reed? You'll have the smallest starting 5 in the NBA probably in that case. But at least you'll be able to run. The one thing that really stuck out to me last night about Tobias Harris, and the thing that has always been an issue, but when he's scoring 17, 20 points a game, it's whatever, is just how unathletic he is in today's NBA. Nobody is as unathletic as him. Like, he is a man out of time. I say it. He would have been better suited in a slower, less athletic 80s style basketball. He's just not he just can't keep up. Looks like he's running with 2 bricks in his shoes. I don't know. Trade Embiid. Stop. Hold on. This is a perfect time for me to say stop. Okay? Stop. 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 Don't even make the joke. Do I think Embiid will return? I think the plan is for him to return. All right? Kyle Lowry doesn't come here without the understanding that the plan is for him to return. I don't think you trade for Buddy Hield unless the plan was for him to return, Adam. The problem is, if we play like last night for the next 2 weeks, why even bring him back? Why risk? And Brett, as the PT guy, can say, the first week after an injury like Embiid had, is it really worth risking pushing him into playoff basketball? And that pressure it puts on body parts, does that really make a difference? Or once he's cleared, it doesn't matter? I don't know. But if we fall to like the 8 or 9 seed over the next 2 weeks, you need to even bring him back. I know. I've done things in the first less than 20 minutes that you never would think I would do on this show. I've complimented Lowry and I've criticized Tobias. I don't have the flu. I just am a constantly congested person. So that is what it is. But yes, last night was a frustrating watch of Sixers basketball. And everybody was coming off the All-Star break, so I don't want to hear that. The Knicks were shorthanded, so I don't want to hear that. They got injured players. They got new guys from the trade deadline that they're working in. Yeah, it is tonight. Wasn't sure if it was tonight or Saturday, but yeah, it's tonight. Nobody in the starting 5 outside of Maxey had a pulse. Yeah, no pulse. We've got a Tobias Harris starter problem, but we also have a center problem until Joel Embiid comes back. Paul Reed, again, I've said it 100 times, is the perfect backup to Joel Embiid. 10 minutes of high energy off the bench. Starter Paul Reed sucks. Mo Bamba, man, he played his jersey number last night in minutes at 5. He was so bad in his first 5 minutes that he played last night, they couldn't put him back in the game. They had to go small ball when Paul Reed wasn't out there. Like, it was bad, Mo Bamba. They've got some issues where I'm not ready to jump off the ledge on them making the playoffs or anything like that. I'm not going to go crazy. But the Sixers, as is right now, healthy or not, have issues. And these issues come back to Daryl Morey. Because Daryl Morey was the one that didn't want to trade Tobias Harris. Daryl Morey wasn't the one that wanted to include an extra pick here or there to get a backup center. Daryl Morey is the guy, and he gets so laser focused. His laser focus was on getting the shooter, he got him, and getting Kyle Lowry in the buyout market. That he ignored everything else that was wrong. And it comes down to it. When Daryl Morey puts his blinders on for one thing, he blocks out the other one. It's like those blinders that horses wear when they're doing it. That's Daryl Morey. Why not start 3 guards? We suck at rebounding anyways. Yeah, the only thing that I disagree with the starting 3 guards is if it works and it gets into a rhythm, and it might, and I think they should. My concern would be when Joel Embiid comes back, that they won't be. It'll be another. They're going to transition to 3 guards, and Joel Embiid comes back, and they'll have to transition back to 2 guards. I don't know. I think they want to keep some form of a certain type of playing style. Maybe if that makes sense, I don't know. Tobias processing speed is Pentium 2. It's like AOL dial-up. I hear, that's what I hear when he gets the ball. He's trying to process it on a dial-up modem. Sounds like Joel is returning. I think we see a video of him in 2 weeks since he's already in the building. That is the plan. That is the expectation. The question is, should he? And the question is, if we go on a big losing run here, say we lose 4 of the next 6 games, 5 of the next 7 games, we fall to 6, 7 in the standings, is it even worth bringing them back? Or you just pack it in and hope for next season? That's all we ever do is hope for next season. Embiid shouldn't return. Rest up, big fella. You're not returned to anything worth saving. I mean, this is what I'm basically hinting at. It was a schedule loss. Oh, Adam, you saved the day with the super chat, and then you bring up something that's going to make me pissed off and sad. It's hard to know without that exact procedure, but seems like they had a small fix, so they run him through simulated games, and if he's fine, he plays. Okay, and that's fine. Putting him at risk, if he's clear, he's clear. I guess is the way I'm looking at it. Are the Sixers in just bad shape as the Eagles? I don't know who's worse right now, the Eagles or the Sixers. Right now, the 2 best teams in Philadelphia, or the 2 teams we're most confident in Philadelphia, are the Phillies and the Flyers. And stay tuned, 30 minutes or so. Kylee joining us to talk Friday Phillies here on Philadelphia Sports Network, Training the AM. Who's the worst player on the Sixers, Tobias or Mo Bamba? I actually have to say Tobias. Physically, stand them next to each other, their skill sets, Mo Bamba. But Mo Bamba is the 3rd center on this team, 2nd right now, and making pennies. Tobias Harris is making $35 million. So you got to say Tobias Harris is the worst player. If you encapsulate everything, Tobias Harris is still a good basketball player. But in this scenario, in this situation, on this team that needs their $35 million man to step up and play some basketball, he flat out stinks. He had the worst plus minus on the Sixers last night. He took 9 shots. He got blocked casually. He's just terrible last night. But last night was just an encapsulation of what you get every other game from Tobias Harris. Right now, we can't have every other game good Tobias Harris, bad Tobias Harris. We need Tobias Harris to be the man every night right now. We've routinely been down by 20 points, process activity. Dude, great. Everyone's compliment. Great job coming back from being down 22 at halftime and making it a game. And I think they got it to 6 at one point in the 4th quarter. Great job on the comeback. This ain't the process Sixers. There's no pat on the backs anymore. I don't care who's hurt, who's not hurt, who's out there, who's not out there. This is not the process Sixers anymore. There's no moral victories anymore. Yeah, you came back and made a game of it, but you also let yourself get down 20 points. And that's pathetic. Danny Green running down the court was awful too. Danny Green ran with his hands hanging on his side all the time. Both, man. Yeah, both are pretty awful. Both are at the bottom of the barrel right now. If it's fixed, it's fixed. If it's still having issues, then surgery failed. Gotcha. That actually is a great way to phrase it. If it's fixed, it's fixed. Waiting another week doesn't change whether if you're cleared and you wait a week or you're cleared and you play, it doesn't really matter. That's a great way to put it right there. Knicks blew our doors off twice at home, and last night the Knicks were undermanned. The Knicks were undermanned worse than the Sixers last night. They at least showed some fight. You heard their coach show some fight when he dropped an F-bomb on live TV last night. Tobias Harris, second highest paid player. Embiid will miss 30 games and still have more to contribute to. Absolutely. 50% healthy Joel Embiid is better than him. Kyle Lowry had the best plus minus with a +4. Yeah, I mean, I was on offense. I know he had 11 points and he had that great first bucket, the reverse layup, but I felt like it was in slow motion. And every time on defense, I felt like it was in slow motion. But he's such a smart, experienced basketball player, and I kind of forgot that. In my opinion, Kyle Lowry's still old and slow and borderline washed at this point, but he was the only one trying out there. He's the only one that put effort outside of Maxey on the court. 6 games since Joel was hurt, Tobias had only had 18-plus points twice. Not good enough. Not good enough from your second highest paid player on the team. I know you're here. You're always there. You're always lurking in the background. Leave Tobias in the locker room, please. He sucks. He truly is horrid. He is hard bred, terrible. He is processed days atrocious. Who would you take right now, Marshawn? Would you rather Tobias Harris or Brandon Davies right now? Or Jonah Bolden right now? Let's pull out some bigger process power forward type players. I mean, you got to consider. You've got to at least, if you're Nick Nurse, you have to make a really strong decision to sit him. You do. You gotta at least consider it heavily. And I know I'm pretty sure Nick Nurse will not consider it. I'm sure if the media asks him before the game today, "Are you considering it?" he would say no. Then he would just be flat out no. I don't think it's on the table. You'll see his minutes dwindle. He only played 27, 28 minutes last night. You might see his starting minutes drop to 25, 22. But outside of that, Tobias Harris is going to keep starting. It builds strength and endurance to decrease general stress on his knee. Yeah, okay. Campaign was the second leading scorer in the first half. Yeah, Campaign, I don't think would have even played in the first half if Kyle Lowry didn't get knocked on the noggin. At least that's what I think. At least that's my opinion. Jonah Bolden. Dude, for some reason, I thought Jonah Bolden had potential. Brandon Davies was hilarious. I just know Brandon Davies from his Jimmer Fredette BYU days. That was a fun team to watch, and back when I used to care about college football or college basketball. But Jonah Bolden, for some reason, I don't know what it was, but I thought that kid had potential. Then I actually saw him play in meaningful minutes. I'm like, yeah, nope. Guy sucks. Guy stinks. Man. What place is 76ers? They're in the 5 seat. They could have tied for the 4 seat last night with a win, but they came out and stunk. Would you rather have Tobias Harris or, dude, I would love to be able to break out my Scott Hive. I have a ugly Christmas sweater. And it's the Scott Hive. Man, is Mike Scott even in basketball right now? He's got to be retired by now. How long is Joel? Joel might be back with 3 or 4 games left in the season. Rather Jahlil Okafor than Tobias Harris. Give me Andres Nokun. I can't say that name. Then Harris. Give me present day Ilyasova. Then Harris. Give me Lavoy Allen. You're really digging into your bag of tricks for Lavoy Allen. He was a Temple product, wasn't he? Danny Granger. Out of all these names, you named some good names here. And Jahlil Okafor, he was one of my biggest misses in life. I know I said Carson Wentz was elite, but man, I thought Jahlil Okafor was the second coming of, offensively speaking, of Hakeem Olajuwon. That man, his rookie year, had some of the quickest feet quickest first move with his feet I've ever seen from a big man. He was bad. But Lavoy Allen, man, how did he even get in the NBA? Jeremy Grant, absolutely. I thought they should consider trading for him at the deadline. They didn't. Jeremy Grant, of all the process players, probably has turned into probably one of the best careers. Ever tried to sell old ball cards? No. They're worthless baseball cards right now. 76ers are in purgatory. They are. Purgatory is actually a really, really great way to describe the Sixers. Mike Scott, so he's still playing. He's in France. Parlez-vous français? That's all I know French. Oui, oui. That's all I know French-wise. But Mike Scott's still playing. Well, okay, so he's not in France. Is he in Puerto Rico? It's not where in the world is Carmen Santiago. It's where in the world is Mike Scott. We got one saying France, one saying the other side of the world in Puerto Rico. I don't know. Give me KJ McDaniel. Rookie Jeremy Grant. Give me Tony Bradley. Danielle Marshall. We're just going to name every single process Sixer that played here now. KJ McDaniel, man. Everybody was hyped about KJ McDaniel because he had one big dunk in a game. Like a big slam dunk on a breakaway. And everyone's like, this guy's the next coming. Yeah, he never really had anything. I doubt he's in the NBA anymore. But man, This Sixers team. Like, what has to happen? Let me get off the box score here. I know what the schedule is over the next couple days with the Cavs tonight and the Bucks and the Celtics and stuff. But then you got the Hornets and you got the Mavs, the Nets, the Grizz, the Pelicans, a couple more Knicks games. That's tough back to back against the Knicks, both in New York. Wow. That's a weird schedule. The 10th and the 12th at Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. You just go up there, you stay for a couple days, but it's just weird that, it's like that. But anyway, how many games do we have to lose, or how far do we have to fall? Let's look at this right now. 1-4, 1-8, 3-8. We are 3-10. 3-10 in our last 13 games. How bad do we have to fall? How many more games do we have to lose versus wins before Nick Nurse takes a chance with benching Tobias Harris and maybe bumping somebody in the starting line, whether it's KJ Martin or Melton or whatever? How bad does it have to get before it gets better? That's the question. KJ McDaniel had his mom speaking out for him like Judy Bagwell did for Buff. Buff's the stuff, my man. Give me Todd McCullough. Todd McCullough, side note, was an all-pro. Why can't I think of it? Player, the game, pinball player, all-pro pinball player. Todd McCullough. He was actually a pretty good radio guy back when Tom McGinnis had a side partner too. Over Paul Reed, Matt Geiger. Matt Geiger was great. Derrick McKee, Stephen Hunter, Eric Montross. The big man. Didn't he just pass away recently, Eric Montross? Do we at least own our first round pick? Maybe if we miss the playoffs, we get a borderline lottery pick. I don't know. You're the pick expert. We own our first, Marshawn. Okay. Buff. And I'm the stuff. I love Buff. I thought he was hilarious, man. Yeah. Thanks, Doc. Exactly. You guys like my Buff Bagwell? I can't really drop down to a knee like he would while I'm sitting here, but yeah, you get what I'm doing here. But what else does Doc? What else does Nick Rivers? I'm calling him Doc Nurse and Nick Rivers. What in the holy hell is wrong with me this morning? Doc Nurse and and Nick Rivers. That might be the worst one. That's worse than Aqua Bowman, who, on an Eagles note, the Eagles made a huge move yesterday and re-signed Aqua Bowman to another one-year deal. That's funny. I could say Aqua Bowman for another year. Brian Skinner. We're literally naming every single Sixer from the process here. Thanks, Marshawn, for all these trips down memory lane. Kenny Thomas, man. He was one of those early trades that Sam Hinkie made to get rid of for more assets and stuff like that. It's Friday. That's what happened to you. Yeah. Nick Rivers, man. That's what happens on Fridays. I can't be like that on Fridays. I need to be on my A game on Fridays. I own a pizza shop. Come check me out. I was in the lab yesterday, the pizza lab. Made a pierogi pizza yesterday for today. Special this weekend. We'll see how it sells. Maybe it'll be a regular current thing. I don't know. But a pierogi pizza today. So I need to be on my A game. Plus, it's Melissa's birthday. So I got to try to make her work a little bit less on her birthday. No, she's got to work. Sorry. I've taken off her birthday plenty of times. We love Aqua. He's sticking around. Extra sauce. I'm still stuck on the whole Nick Rivers thing that I just said. So I don't know how to respond to that. It's amazing, the pierogi pizza. Amazing. Okay. I made a 12-inch medium cut into 8 slices, and I ate 5 slices yesterday for lunch. Pizza with pierogi ingredients, with pierogies on top. No pierogies on top. I just did a little garlic butter down. I did some mashed potatoes, some fried onions, a mix of mozzarella and cheddar cheese, a little sour cream on the side. I'm going to try it again today. I'm going to recommend people add a little bacon or steak or jalapenos to it. Upcharge, I like to upcharge people. Evan Turner and his broken jump shot. Would you take Evan Turner and or Michael Carter Williams? Michael Carter Williams at least was tall enough. He could play the 4, give you some rebounding. Evan Turner still thinks he's the best Sixer of all time. I loved Evan Turner too. I love the guys that everybody hates on. That was like the worst draft class ever. John Wall 1, Evan Turner 2. Man, make that year make sense. Potatoes on pizza. You got to try it, Adam. I know you. I know you will. It's fantastic pizza. Add kraut and sour cream. We're putting the sour cream on the side for it. I do fried onions instead of sauerkraut. I hate cooking sour. I hate cooking cabbage. I hate the smell of sauerkraut. I do. It makes you want to gag. It really does. Give me Michael Carter Williams from his rookie year, dude. I was so hyped over Michael Carter Williams. I thought Michael Carter Williams, man, he was exact. I'm like, I kept saying when he was a rookie, I'm like, Dan, if this guy could get his shot a little bit better, this guy's going to take over the NBA because he was basically Ben Simmons before Ben Simmons, the bigger point guard that passes, rebounds. He had the potential to be a walking triple double. Played solid defense because of his length, but then after that rookie year, man, boom, hit a brick wall. Was rookie Michael Carter Williams greater than the entire career of Sixers Ben Simmons? Yes, 1,000% yes. Rookie Michael Carter Williams could run circles, even right now. I don't know, is Michael Carter Williams even basketball? Could run circles about Ben Simmons right now. That's pathetic. It's pathetic that's where we're at right now. Scott O'Neal turned Josh Harris against Hinkie because Sam traded Michael Carter Williams after season. Ticket pamphlet went out. Such a stupid team. Oh, man. Yes. Yes. Hold on. We're doing all these wrestling references. I can do the yes. 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 Michael Carter Williams is greater than Ben Simmons. I mean, it's plain as day. Yeah. Dude, it hits me 2 or 3 times every year on Facebook memories. I love going through my Facebook memories and finding out where I was spot on or deadly wrong on. And 2 or 3 times a year, and next time it comes up, I'll share it. That I have a couple Facebook posts, this was before I was on Twitter, of how hyped I was about Michael Carter Williams. There's a couple about Michael Carter Williams, and there's one that pops up every year about Jahlil Okafor. And they kill me. Every time I see him, I'm like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Michael Carter Williams, I mean, Adam's got all the connections down in Mexico basketball leagues and Puerto Rican basketball leagues. Last played for the Mexico team. Man. Oh, man, that's crazy. You disrespect the Stiefel name. Take what you said back about kraut. Sauerkraut's not a Stiefel thing. It's a Polish thing. I'm not Polish. I'm Italian and then German. My wife's Polish. She loves her kraut. Me, not so much. The smell of it. I eat with, it's not just taste to me when I eat. It's smell, it's texture, and taste. And the smell of sauerkraut just makes me want to vomit. It really does. I remember 2014 Media Day, the Sixers Big 3 photo. Oh, man. I got to find that picture. MCW, Nerlens Noel, and Joel Embiid. I like Nerlens Noel, and he's actually had a pretty solid career. But, man, we had all the hype there with all that length on that team. I spent hundreds on late 90s ball cards. Now I can't get. Yeah. They suck. Baseball cards are worthless, man. Kraut is a dirty business. It is. It is. K1 coming in late with a hot comment like that. K1 missing out that I even complimented the Flyers earlier in the show. Power rank the 5 Philadelphia sports teams right now and just who's the best, who you have the most confidence in going forward. As a fan, you got to put the Phillies and Flyers 1, 2. Union 3, Eagles 4, 6. The confidence level power rankings in Philadelphia right now. Who would have thought the Eagles would be 4 and the Sixers would be 5? And how those two teams wouldn't be 1 or 2. Nerlens was only good with Ish Smith at the point guard. And are we literally trying to name every 76er from 2013 to like 2016 right now? I think Marshawn's named about 70% of them so far today. Tell her to break a leg. Honestly, completely out of left field, TMC, but you're kind of spot on. I always laugh at that saying. Always do. They want them to be in. They basically want them to break a leg so they can take their job. Basically, Phillies, Flyers, Wings, and Union. So you bumped one of the other teams out of the top 5. You bumped the Eagles or Sixers out of the top 5, Adam. Yeah, I mean, we could put the Water Dogs at least made the playoffs. Playoffs? We might have. They did. They lost the playoffs, but just typical Philly. Comedy gold. Comedy gold. That's right. Gave me Matt Harpring over Harris, 2004 Glenn Robinson over Harris, John Salmons over Harris. There's a name. There's a name. How about Byron Maxwell? He was a Sixer at once. Well, not Byron Maxwell. Who was Byron Maxwell was the Eagle. Who was the Maxwell? The Vern Maxwell. Give me him. Jason Capono, 2-time 3-point shooting contest champion in the NBA. For all the Sam Hinkie believers, I like to remind them that Giannis was drafted 15th in the MCW draft and Jokic was drafted in the second round in the NBA draft. Well, fine. I still take Joel Embiid. Like, yeah, so Jokic. A lot of teams missed. See, the thing is, missed. Everyone's like, oh, well, this guy went. Well, 14 teams missed out on Giannis. It wasn't just the Bucks, okay? You could say that about the other 14 teams. The Jokic, you could say that Denver missed out on him in the first round. And yes, Jokic is a hair better than B, but I'm not worried about that. That I think is taking it too far. If you would have cut off right there after you said MCW draft, and that was the end of your statement, we would have been on the same page there. But then putting the Jokic, I just think that was a little overkill on it. Literally, I think K1 or Marshawn has literally on a side screen the entire list of Sixers players over a 3-year span, and he's just trying to find ways to get every name into a comment. What's up, Eric? Good morning. Salute. That's right. Pick up your shirts, guys. Core 12 shirts. I want to see pictures of people rocking Core 12 shirts at WrestleMania, at the bar. I want to see people rocking the Core 12 shirts everywhere. And you get them. Shirt Stipe is linked in the description of the show. You know, you can get. I got a long sleeve T-shirt on right now of the Trending in the AM. Stop and the OG Fairway to Heaven, guys. It's a great way to support me, and you get some clothes out of it. Sixers lucked out with Embiid. Let's be honest. We all wanted Wiggins. I did not want Andrew Wiggins. I liked Jabari Smith, and he went 2. I think Smith went 2 to the Bucks. Right? It was Wiggins 1, Smith 2, and then Embiid 3. I think that was the order. I did like Jabari Smith, and he was actually a talented player. Couldn't stay healthy, but I also think he was kind of like Jahlil Okafor, where he was pretty one-dimensional, and I don't know if he would ever become a star. And he might be a little bit like Tobias Harris in the sense where if Jabari Smith played in the 80s or 90s, he would have been a more successful player if he had stayed healthy. That's just me. Smash that like button, please. We haven't done a reset yet today, and I don't know how many people have liked this video. But, man, I need you guys, man. I need you guys more than ever right now. The algorithm has taken a hit since the season for the Eagles has ended. We need more hits on that like button, that share button, that retweet button. Got to build that algorithm back up. This is from memory. Years of frustration, man. I mean, I could dig deep into my bag of tricks, too. You know, I could do James Anderson or Tony Roten. I like to throw out the Bolden and the Brandon Davies. They're my 2 favorite go-tos right there. Eric's my promoter right there, you know? He is. I knew Embiid was a monster after just one workout. I knew Embiid was it was, you know, someone like Joel, it was always from day one going to be about health. Even at Kansas, Joel Embiid had back issues. And he's had back and knee issues his entire career. And it is what it is. You know, we all make fun of how slow and methodical Jokic looks out there when he's running, but he also doesn't fall to the ground and risk his body as much. He's an elite player, and he does great with what he's got. And I'm not bashing Jokic at all anymore. I give him his due. I'm giving him his flowers. But he protects his body a little bit more. K1, you are top-notch, bar none. Yeah, I don't know about that. Gerald Henderson, Javal McGee. He was. We need Guy Fieri to visit Fox's Pizza. Guy Fieri. I heard his restaurant sucked, but I hear he's a really great person to work for. I've heard good things about him. Yeah, he is my hype man, Eric. You're all my hype men. The Core 12 are my hype. My hype 12. You guys don't get hyped. You stay hyped. I need you guys more than ever right now. It's crazy how Joel was built like KG in college. Yeah, it was. No, I'll never be on Diners, Drive-In, Dives. So I do want to do a tour of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives restaurants. I want to do the Diners, the Triple D Route 66 tour. Just go down Route 66 and stock at all his places. I watched the Sixers game last night. Nick Nurse got out coached. The Knicks knew every play before it happened. That's an interesting way to look at it. We've talked about Harris being bad last night, Mo Bamba, Paul Reed. But Nick Nurse, did he get out coached last night? That's a possibility. I wasn't really paying attention to the coaching aspect of it last night, mister. But that gives me something to look out for tonight. Interesting. I like the way you're putting it a little differently there. I do. I also will say, though, that ever since Nick Nurse called out Paul Reed and Mo Bamba and said they got to step up every night, not just once every third night, has made things even worse because they've gotten even worse since then. You would think one of them would have stepped up and grabbed the brass ring. He called them out and said, I want one of you to grab that brass ring. And instead, they sat down instead of reaching. He said, I'm good. That's a problem, too. It is. Nick Nurse, we're not saying, I don't think Mista is saying that Nick Nurse is the problem. I really don't think so. But was he out-coached? Maybe. I mean, let's be honest. Tom Thibodeau is a really solid, really high-quality head coach in the NBA. In my opinion, the Knicks are not a talented team. I mean, they have talent, but they're not the most talented team. But they're well coached. Everyone gives 110%. Every next man up always works because of Thibodeau. I remember wanting Wiggins and Parker until I saw his post-up highlights workout. My jaw dropped. I was like, he could be like Hakeem. Never expected him to be the most dominant 76er ever. Yeah. I really thought Jabari Parker had a lot of talent. Then I saw him in the NBA and realized he just wasn't a fit. Andrew Wiggins, I just thought I knew he was going to be the first pick in that draft, but I knew his ceiling wasn't as high as people thought it was. Where he is now in the NBA, a third or fourth option on a team, a great bench option if he happens to go to a certain type of team. That's the best you're going to get on. You're going to get scoring. You're not going to get much defense. He's very one-dimensional. I knew that right from the get-go on Andrew Wiggins. Mo Bamba ain't grabbing no rings. Mo Bamba can reach the rings without jumping. And he still don't want to grab them. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, something off there. Give me Bill O'Brien, Eddie Jordan. Again, just listing all the names. We're just going to keep listing all the names. You know, we could go back into the 90s. I'll take Jeff Hornacek over Tobias Harris. Give me Jeff Malone over Tobias Harris right now. And yes, this is the first time. It's the first time probably ever in the near 2.5, 3 years of hosting Trending in the AM, November 2021, when it started. 2.5 years. This is the first time I've ever criticized fully Tobias Harris. Hey, there's a first for everybody. It is. Going through the Encyclopedia Britannica of misery here. Britannica? Was that what it was? I just rolled off the tongue, and I think I was wrong on that there. I might have the wrong name there. What was the encyclopedias called? They used to sell them on the 900 numbers on TV at 2 a.m. in the morning. You know, sign up. You get a new book every month or whatever until you get the full encyclopedia. I don't know. Man. Look, we're going to do a little soft reset here, a little premature, because Kylie will be joining us in about 10 minutes. We're going to transition to some Phillies talk here, as we do Wednesdays with Justin Crosby. And now we got Phillies Fridays with Kylie at 9 a.m. So you're watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that retweet button, that subscribe button. Do it all. Do it all, guys. I greatly appreciate it. I am Phil Stiefel. Dr. J had the Boston Strangler. Joel has Crumble Assassin. Life ain't fair. I mean, Marshawn, this is your best comment of the day so far. And you've had some good ones. Encyclopedia Philadelphica. I don't even know what that means. Travis, what's up, my man? The offseason, I mean, you blink and you go from the Super Bowl right into the offseason, my man. It just never, 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 never ends. And we've talked a lot of Eagles this week. We're kind of dabbling with a little touch here or there today, but I'm trying to give the Sixers their due and crush them. I want to give the Phillies Saturday. I'm hyped. First televised spring training game on TV. It'll be on it. You want to try the pierogi pizza, anybody? Come to Fox's Pizza in Kennett Square on Saturday while the Phillies game is on. I'll have the Phillies game on the big TV. We can eat some pizza. We can talk Phillies, Sixers, Eagles, whatever. Comes across the bottom of the screen, the address and stuff. I must have called different 900 numbers. I do not want to know what 900 number Big Al. Anybody with the nickname Big Al is calling some weird 900 numbers. Probably still to this day. Sorry. You can get that stuff for free now online. Just letting you know, Big Al. Just letting you know. That's why there's a reason why I clicked the "No, this video is not for kids" thing when I set up this show. I see guys like Mo Bamba, Stein. It's just another reason why I can't rock with Maury. Yeah, all right, so you want to sign Mo Bamba as your third center? All right, I got it. But you can't rock with Maury when Embiid's missing all this time, and you're not going to go out there and get a better option. I will stand by it forever. Paul Reed is a perfect backup center and 1-2 punch with Joel Embiid. He cannot be the starter. You needed to sign somebody else or trade for somebody else that could start to keep Paul Reed on the bench. You just do. We need some mock drafts. We're going to get some mock drafts on here. I do like 1, maybe 2 mock drafts. I'll try to bring in 1 or 2 mock draft experts. Shane Haff will be back on before the draft. I'm going to try to get Deebs on here when the next time he doesn't have work in the morning. We'll see who's covering the mock draft for PSN. We'll get some mock draft stuff in here. The only thing fueling my happiness right now is the Niners lost the Super Bowl. Bring back that Niner. Gammon was a good guy, man. Gammon Brown. I can't crush him. Can't do that. We could have easily acquired half of Villanova guys that are on the Knicks roster. The DiVincenzo's, Harts. Dude, Josh Hart, I love watching the Knicks play this year for one reason only. I've always been a big Josh Hart fan not just at Nova, but in the NBA. Josh Hart is the perfect NBA teammate. When you need him to score, he can drop you 20 points. When you need him to be a role player, he can get you 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and 5 points. When you need him to come off the bench, sure. When you need him to fill in and start, sure. He is perfect role player on a team. Love his game. Love what he brings. You get to bet. You bet baseball? Bet golf, man. No, my golf picks this week. EVR 40-1. Eric Van Ruin in the lead. Steven Yeager in contention. Man, I had some really solid golf bets this week. That's what you should be betting. Paul Reed is a 4, not a true 5. He's not a 4, though. In today's 4, you got to be able to shoot. Paul Reed's shot is not that good. People think he can shoot. He can't. But Nova guys are really good off the bench players, but most are not starters. Josh Hart can be a starter when called upon. Josh Hart is the perfect type of he's the type of guy every team needs. Who's this Sixers Josh Hart? We don't have a Josh Hart type on this team. A guy that could do everything. Jack of all trades. We don't got that guy. Every quality playoff team that's got a legit chance has a Josh Hart type that comes off the bench and starts when needed. Phil claims his golf pick's solid on the week. There's no fair way to have it. But I put him out there on social media. Sorry. Got things going on this week. We'll be back next week, Tuesday night. Don't worry. I won't make you skip 2. But I put him out there. My DraftKings lineups, I put him out there. My bets, I bet Pendrith, who stunk yesterday. Rogers, who was okay yesterday. Actually, I think Rogers made a charge yesterday. EVR was my top play. Toasty and Yeager. Yeager stunk, I think, yesterday. Pendrith was the one that really killed me yesterday. That was killed. No fairway. Denied. I put a little block up there on you on that one. It is what it is. Guys, who I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say anymore about the Sixers team. Like I really went into yesterday's game and was thinking positively all day yesterday. And then I watched that game and I'm just like, it just zapped so much of my positive feelings out of me. It just zapped me. It just drained me. And I don't know how to feel. I'm trying. I'm trying going tonight against the Cavs, going up against the Bucks and the Celtics in the coming days. I'm trying to keep that positivity. I am. But it's hard. It really is. We didn't need them as stars. We have Maxey, Heald, Oubre, Harris, and Embiid. Well, Harris shouldn't be a starter. How many starters we need? We need role players. Well, you had a chance to go get Bogdanovich and Burks for your bench. You had a chance. All you had to do was give up Tobias Harris. Bogdanovich would have started last night since we're shorthanded. Burks would have come off the bench. If you switch that, when you win that trade and you get those guys, Sixers beat the Knicks last night, not the Knicks beating the Sixers. You let a team competing with beat you out on a very much needed trade because you didn't want to give up Tobias Harris. Daryl Morey is the root of the problem here. He is. And this is the first time I've ever criticized Tobias Harris. This is not the first time I've ever criticized Daryl Morey. At some point, all of Sixers Nation will be on board with me in saying that Daryl Morey is the problem. We will never complete the process. We will never win a title with Daryl Morey making the decisions. I'm just saying. I don't care if Joel Embiid comes back. Yeah, we're going to get hyped. He comes back. We're going to make a run. Sure. This team is so flawed in so many different areas. It just is. Sixers talk, algo, wrecked. Flyers talk wrecks the algo normally. The whole algo's been wrecked for like a week and a half now. I had to go back like 12 days the last time I had over 200 views on a trending in the AM show on YouTube. You know, Facebook and Twitter. I have different things and all, but I mainly check that YouTube video count. We've been hovering between like 85 and like 110 for like 2 weeks, man. Killing me. We were averaging between like 180 and like 250 for like 6 months, with some shows in the 300-400. But lately, maybe my effort is up in there. Maybe it's my fault, guys. All right. So joining me now on the I Have No Sponsor hotline, the start of Friday with Phillies with Kylie Sullenberg. Kylie, good morning. Welcome back to Trending in the AM. And how you doing this morning?
Good morning. I am fantastic. How are you?
I am fantastic. For those that don't know, Kylie writes Phillies for Philadelphia Sports Network. She also hosts a great Phillies podcast called Bell Smashers Pod. And you, Jen, and Haley, you do a fantastic job with it. So I'm excited to get this going. We've been doing Wednesdays, Sixers talk, Phillies Fridays. I think it's got a good ring to it. Camp started, spring training started. We got our first spring training game today, first televised game tomorrow. Initial overview, big picture feeling. How are you feeling about this Phillies team as, the unofficial start to the season gets started this weekend?
Um, it's this team. They're running it back, so I'm not quite sure how to feel about it. Running it back with the team that still hasn't gotten over the hump, but they still, a healthy Bryce Harper, hopefully, Trey Turner, hopefully is second half Trey Turner, not the Trey Turner that was batting 230. Um, hopefully stock continues to improve. Hopefully Bohm, he's improved every year since 2021. So hopefully that trend continues. Castellanos and Schwarber are just going to be who they are. They're going to do exactly what we need them to do. So I feel like our lineup is set. It's the rotation that's kind of Sanchez was good.
Mm-hmm.
But as a fifth starter, I'm not 100% sold yet.
Okay. Is there so it's funny you bring up the rotation and it's one of their weaknesses because a lot of people are talking about the bullpen as being the problem. And you got Nola, you've got Wheeler at the top of the line at the rotation. Ranger Suarez, we still got to see Ranger Suarez stay healthy for an entire year. Taijuan Walker is a big question mark. And then you bring up Chris Sanchez. Like, it's kind of concerning that you hear all the talking about the bullpen or the lineup and who's going to be this or that. And, Dave Dombrowski may have made a mistake by not improving. I know there's a few bigger names out there, but Dave Dombrowski and John Middleton have spoken in the last week or so and basically said that their job's done. They're not doing anything else. Is that a mistake, or do you think that's maybe a little smoke to maybe bring in maybe a Montgomery or a Snell on a 1 year, or a cheaper deal than what they're looking for?
I will never put anything past Dombrowski. I'm sure he's always trying to cook up ways to improve the entire roster. But I like when they said they're going to get ready for a trade deadline move. That is something that's going to be really interesting. Notice the players who are going to be free agents next year or in 2 years, or maybe a team that signed, a 1-year deal like a Aroldis Chapman who signed with the Pirates.
Right.
And if they don't do anything, just like when he signed with the Royals, they'll trade him at the trade deadline to a contender. Something like that, I wouldn't be surprised. But the way they worded it, I could also see them going after a big name that they can extend right away. Because they offered over $325 million for Yamamoto.
Yeah.
They're gonna spend.
Yeah. Does that hear in that report that they offered the biggest contract to Yamamoto? Like, a lot of people are upset about that. I'm actually I kind of feel like good about that because I know that Middleton and Dombrowski have realized they're going to keep spending. They're going to do what it takes. You hear Middleton say, "I want my bleeping trophy back." I believe it by hearing that. So to anything, the Yamamoto thing is kind of uplifting to an extent to me.
Yeah, I absolutely find it more uplifting than anything because Yamamoto was never projected to come to Philly, ever.
Right.
It was always going to be LA or New York, and that was it. But
I just thought LA. It was one of the LA teams, and that would maybe Seattle. A lot of those guys, they love to play on the West Coast to start their career in the U.S.
I mean,
it's just the way it is.
To see that they were a sleeper team and offered the most money, they're serious about it. So that's the way I took it. That's the way I'm gonna take it because that's just you can't get everybody.
No.
Like,
do you think some of these things with the pitching and the team itself, that some of the injuries that this team has faced, mainly Andrew Painter and some other things and some slower development of some players, that they really by this point thought that Painter, Abel, McGreary, some of these minor league guys, even Rojas to an extent, would be further along in their development because, yes, you can't sign every $300 million player. Sometimes you need some young homegrown guys, and there are more homegrown guys than people realize on this team, but they kind of need it. Like their plan over the last 2 or 3 years was to get to this year with some of these young guns up here ready to go. And whether it was injuries or stunted growth, that kind of made them have to pivot and they weren't prepared for it.
I think they were expecting McGarry to be different.
Okay.
This far along. He hit over 40 home runs.
Yeah. Yeah. He hit over 40 home runs.
But I think everybody expected McGarry to be a little farther along.
Yeah.
I mean, on him. I mean,
now I hear that
a little farther along.
McGarry, now they're talking about moving him into the pen versus a starting. That's how much he's slowed development. Is that right? That's what I've heard.
I think they should put him in the bullpen.
Okay.
Because not everybody can be a starter. Not everybody, can do the full 9 innings. It's like a Spencer Howard thing. Different kind of pitcher, but it's the same scenario where, Spencer Howard couldn't go more than 3 innings. Put him in the bullpen.
Yeah.
He was
where we
great
have a lot
for
of
that 2
weaknesses to
innings.
begin with at this point. Tim checking in. What's up, my man? Painter, Abel, etc. They're here to prolong the length of success. Yes.
Yep.
But I think that they were supposed to be here now. At least Painter was supposed to be here by now.
Painter was supposed to be here last year.
Yeah, exactly. At some middle of last, I was projected. I remember doing a kickoff show. I was going through some old notes, and I had Painter starting and being in the rotation before July 1st last year. That was my prediction, and obviously that didn't happen, and that changed things. Does Abel have a legit chance to maybe beat out a Chris Sanchez to make the because Chris Sanchez could hypothetically be that long reliever as well. He's done that before, and Chris Sanchez isn't anything overly special. Does Abel have any inkling of a chance of making this roster in camp?
Right out from camp, I'm not sure. I can definitely see him being a midseason call-up if he continues to go well. I'd like to see him pitch a little more in AAA. It was nice to see Abel get out of the trouble that he got himself into when I was there for his debut. But I would like to see him get some more dirt under his feet in AAA before they call him up.
Okay. One of the big things that's been not a controversy, well, controversy depending on which outlet you talk to and listen to. Something that's been a hot topic to discuss lately is the rumors that Bryce Harper wants an extension. And yes, he's got 8 years left on his 13-year, $300+ million contract. But Bryce Harper, bringing up Kyle Schwarber in the top 100. Bryce Harper is the 11th ranked player based off of that list in baseball. He's also the 23rd highest paid based off of annual salary. Something doesn't match there. Kylie, I'm on board that I have no problem with what Bryce Harper's asking for. It's not like he's making it a priority. It's not like he's holding out from showing up. He's there doing his work. He's just got his agent, and he's being honest that, I'm underpaid. I would like a little extra security. I'd like you to basically, I'd say top it off, like you top off your coffee cup at a diner. Just top off the contract at the back end, and I think it's something that, he's not going to be elite at the time he gets to that top off, but I'm okay with it. Where do you stand on the Bryce Harper wants an extension in year 4 of a 13-year deal?
What Bryce Harper has done for this organization, he's catapulted them at least 10 years.
Yeah.
At least. And I mean, we wouldn't have JT Realmuto without him. They wouldn't have Trey Turner, Castellanos, Schwarber. They wouldn't have so many of these guys. Who knows if they even sign Wheeler?
Yeah.
So
I mean, he is the guy he's carried this organization on his back. And like I said it the second they signed him that I was shocked that the deal was so cheap. Like I couldn't believe it. And Tim saying that it's Scott Boras that's doing this. I mean, yeah, agents want to get paid too. You got to capitalize while you can.
I think it's mostly Boras trying to stir up some stuff because all Bryce Harper said was he wants to play here until his 40s. And so I feel like everybody kind of took it and ran with it a little bit, which was Boras's plan because it's Scott Boras. I don't think a deal will get done relatively soon. He's still got a long time on that contract, so I think they're going to get it done when the time is right. And Bryce Harper is not going to sacrifice winning for an extra couple dollars.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not like like I said, and I've been saying this to everybody, it's not like he's holding out. He's there. He's putting in the work. He was there early. He's doing everything you would expect from your superstar. It's a total different scenario than like when a football player holds out before training camp.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a totally different scenario. And I think people are overreacting to it a little bit. And yeah, Scott Boras might be a big part of that as well. And look, I don't blame Scott Boras for wanting to get paid either. You got a meal ticket. Everybody wants to get paid. And if you get paid, good for you. I'm going to give you a round of applause, I have no problem with any athlete ever wanting more money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, you got to get paid when you can get paid. Who knows? Bryce Harper just went through a devastating injury, had to change positions, had to do all this stuff. He's got to think big picture. What if something happens again? You know what I mean? Get the money you can when you can, and go from there. But it's not like he's doing it in a TO type way. I mean, you're a young girl, you know. TO. It's not like he's doing sit-ups in his
remember
driveway.
TO.
Like, what?
I remember TO.
Well, I know you remember, but you're probably a little baby back then. You know what I mean? You know, me, I was already graduated from college and into my career at that point. You know what I mean? So there's a difference in age gap here. But yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a TO scenario. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think people need to just get over the Harper situation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the Phillies are going to pay him. Like it's going to happen.
I like this
They
comment from Tim right here. Maybe there was a handshake agreement that this was part of the plan all along.
yeah. So I feel like Bryce Harper took a cheap deal. Cheap.
Yeah, cheap.
Knowing he would outperform it. I mean, the dude has an MVP, a couple Silver Sluggers, All-Star, NLCS MVP. List goes on with this guy. Over
He's already a Hall of Fame baseball player. If his career ended today, you already put him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So knowing he would outperform that and knowing the kind of organization he was signing to and knowing the fan base he was about to play for. I feel like knowing all of this, he could not only get the owner, well, especially since Middleton said he underpaid him. Mm-hmm. That just shot himself in the foot right there.
Tim is firing away on the comments here on Twitter, and everybody watching on Twitter, remember, you can comment on Twitter now. So click the video box, and it opens up a chat box just like Tim's doing here. Breakout star for this team, Bohm, 290, 25, 110. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility because he hit 20 home runs last year and hit, 90 RBIs? So it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think the thing with him, Tim, and I'll ask Kylie in a second here, is the fact that he's set and locked in one position this year. He's not bouncing back and forth, trying to figure out all different things. He's set. He's locked. He knows his position is solidified on this team. I think that's a big deal for Alec Bohm.
Yeah, I think with the consistency now, and I mean, we all know Bohm's a mental guy.
Yeah,
when the mentals are right, everything's going good. So I think with the consistency at third base and, everything is consistent this year. The same players at the same positions pretty much. Mm-hmm. So I said Bohm's going to hit 25 home runs. And
I never thought Bohm was going to be much more than a 25 home run guy. I always thought he could drive at 100 RBIs. But I always said Bohm could be a 300-plus hitter for a full season. I think he's got a 300 batting average in him without a doubt. Even 310, 315 potentially. That's just what I see in Alec Bohm.
I see Rojas being the breakout star.
Okay.
I see, because I believe in Bohm. He's going to improve again. So maybe what he does will surprise more people than I expect. But Rojas, I mean, his defense is irreplaceable. Absolutely. I mean, you saw in the NLDS where he caught Acuna's should be double, bases clear and double. Right. But it was a pop out. So if he just gets to hit around 260 and get into maybe double-digit home runs, he's going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you a different one because since Tim brought up the breakout star, I'm going to give you the guy that I think can solve a lot of the Phillies' problems. It's not a breakout per se. I would say more it's like a re-breakout because in 2022, he was one of the most underappreciated guys on the 2022 run, and that's Sirianni Dominguez. And I think Sirianni Dominguez re-breaking out, I guess is the way to say it, because, he was hurt. He was tired from the 2022 playoff season. He just wasn't right all of last year.
Yeah.
And I think if Sirianni Dominguez can return to 2022 Sirianni Dominguez, I think we don't need to go out and find another closer.
No.
I thought he could be the closer of the future on this team in 2022. Dominguez, to me, is the key breakout or re-breakout guy that can help push us back to the World Series, because then you could keep Alvarado in that swing, high leverage situation. Then you don't have to put Kirk Green in undue pressure where he's not ready for yet. Like, it really, Dominguez in 2022 right now on this team makes the rest of the bullpen line perfectly up. And then all those other starting rotation issues get solved and everything else. Dominguez, to me, is the re-breakout star for me in 2024, at least in an importance meter.
Yeah, I mean, if Sir Anthony, if he can get back to even a little bit like,
I love it. I love it.
I loved him.
So
if he can even get back, if he can get back to 2022 format, I mean, this bullpen is virtually unhittable.
Yeah, absolutely. Phillies finally farm system is producing. Yeah, people. I saw somebody arguing that we haven't produced anybody on our farm system in so long, and I was like, "What are you talking about? Stop!" Boom. And I was just going down the list of guys that were homegrown on the Phillies. There's a lot more homegrown guys on the Phillies than people realize. But yeah, Sir Anthony Dominguez, because I don't love Alvarado as a closer. I get too many flashbacks of Mitch Williams and stuff like that with Alvarado and his personality and the way he does things. I think Alvarado's perfect as that high leverage guy. You bring him in to get the key outs in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, whenever. And then as a closer, he works, but I don't know. Getting Dominguez to be that lockdown closer, I don't know. To me, that puts the Phillies over the top. That makes so many things so much better. I don't know if he can do it or not, but I think, it would be a major key to success for this team.
So then here's the thing. If they see Sir Anthony being that guy, should they re-sign Lorenzen to help with Sanchez? Because Lorenzen, he had 2 good games with the Phillies, and then kind of fell off. But think about him being with the Phillies the entire season.
I think it's a great idea. I didn't even know he was still available out there at this point.
He is.
The problem with Lorenzen last year was that when he got to the Phillies at the deadline, he had already almost matched his career high in innings pitched in the season.
Yeah.
And I think it was when he threw the no-hitter, or right before he threw the no-hitter, he had already matched his career high. And he went for 2 more months. The guy was gassed. And I said that the second we traded for him. Well, no, the second we traded for him, I said, who's this? And then I started diving into his numbers. I'm like, this guy might be good for a week or two, but he's going to be gassed really quickly. And you saw it last year. He's had an off season. He's rested. I love the idea. If he's the only other move we make before the season starts, I'd be on board with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you obviously want Montgomery or Snell, but I mean,
well, yeah,
that's not going to happen.
It just doesn't seem logical that would happen. Lorenzen, long relief and spot starts is a plus for his team. Absolutely agree with you. We did make one signing last week, a week or so ago, Whit Merrifield. I keep wanting to say Whit Mayfield, but Whit Merrifield. And I think it was such an underappreciated signing for bringing in a guy with his versatility for our bench / as an alternate starter at 5 different positions. Were you happy with that Whit Mayfield 1-year deal?
I think it's a lot of money, but it's baseball. Who really cares about money like that?
Exactly. I don't ever care about money in baseball.
Right.
And I don't care. It ain't my money.
Exactly. So I don't really care about it like that. But when he was interviewed, I forget who interviewed him a couple of days ago when he got here, but he was like, I'm a 3-time All-Star. I did this, I did this, I did this. I want to win. The way he went about talking about it was everything I wanted to hear from him.
Absolutely.
He's going to be so good for that locker room.
All right, so we got Kylee Sullenberg here, Bell Smashers Pod and Philadelphia Sports Network. She's going to be doing Phillies Fridays here on the show every single week around 9 a.m. What do you got going on at Bell Smashers? I know your new season just started. About a week or 2 ago of the show. You guys do great work, and you've had some great guests and lots of great success so far. What's on tap this year with Bell Smashers Pod?
So I will be heading down to Clearwater 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we got stuff going on there. Second year going, so I'm really excited to do more things. And there may be some stuff in the works for that I probably can't say right now. So, we'll see
There's
what goes
secrets.
on there.
There's secrets going on. You
Uh,
just gotta follow Kylie at BSP_Sully right there. It's right there on the screen under her name. Make sure you give her a follow. That's awesome though. I love the work you guys do, and you, Jen, and and yeah, you guys do a great work. You do, and I love watching
Thank
it.
you.
And you guys have gotten it's so hard to get popular quickly in this field, and you guys have shot up the charts so quickly in 1 year, and I love to see it. You guys are awesome. Um, I'm going to ask you this every single week till the season starts. Right now, week 1 of camp. What's your are you yes the Phillies can get back to the World Series or no as they stand right now? And then next week I'm going to ask you if that opinion's changed. And then the next week I'm going to ask you if it's changed again. Right now, what you've seen and heard from 1 week of practice, are they making it back to the World Series?
They can, but do I see it happening with the way they're constructed right now? Probably not.
Oh, break my heart. It's the
I
first day
know,
of
I
camp.
know, but
First week. We're supposed to be positive week 1.
I know. I wanna be positive, but I also have to be realistic. And
Okay. All right.
I mean, we saw what happened last year, what went wrong, and it depends on, like you said, Sir Anthony. I want to see them if they can get one more pitching piece.
Yeah.
I
One more
want
pitch.
to. There's something I want to see from them that I just can't quite put my finger on it yet. That I want to see from them, and if they do it, I mean they're postseason performers anyway. So I mean
Yeah. They just
they
got to
could
get there.
they could hit 5 home runs all year and then hit 1,000 in the postseason. So we'll see.
All right. We got Fridays with Kylie here every single week now on the I Have No Sponsor hotline. Thank you very much, Kylie. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, Kylie. That was Kylie right there on the I Have No Sponsor hotline. Make sure you check her out, Bell Smashers Pod. Great stuff she does, and she writes great articles. She's been doing a great series all off season for Philadelphia Sports Network, covering all the different free agent targets and stuff like that for this team. Um, you know what time it is, boys. I think she's ready for the Godfather. Oh, I didn't get to the Godfather. Nobody reminded me about the Godfather question because I don't care about the Godfather question. I know. I'm a slacker. The money isn't what it seems. The banks take 90% of your money. Yeah, exactly. I don't worry about money. Money in sports doesn't mean a thing to me. It just doesn't. I meant to ask her too because I had Phillies 1 in the confidence power rankings in Philadelphia sports right now. But yeah, we'll save that for next week, I guess. The confidence meter. We got to the final 5 minutes here, and I'll wrap up the Phillies conversation with a little bow here. I'm going to try my best this year during the Philly season. And, we're going to talk Phillies throughout the entire season, throughout the entire summer. Yeah. Phillies 1, Flyers 2, Union 3, Eagles 4, Sixers 5. That's right now the power rankings, Kylie. That's where I'm at. I am going to try my best this year to not massively overreact every single bad game in April, every single bad moment. I'm going to try my best to try and keep a level head throughout the season. I'm going to try. I don't know how that promise is going to work and how long I could keep that attitude, but I'm going to try. Killing my Sixers. Dude, you can't be positive on the Sixers after last night. Last night was a disaster, Tim. You missed the first hour of the show where I just crushed the Sixers daily, or for an hour. Opportunities were missed. Yeah, I'm sorry. Put the Eagles last. Yeah, you might have an argument to go Sixers 4, Eagles 5. I even tried to put the Wooder Dogs in the top 5 ahead of the Eagles and the Sixers. Not overreact. You call yourself. I know exactly. I mean, I say I'm not going to overreact. When Kyle Schwarber goes 0 for 20 in the leadoff spot over 4 games, I'm going to try not to overreact. But we all know, Tim, at some point, if you've been following me long enough, you know that that's all I do is overreact to every single game. I'm putting the Sixers as the worst team in the city right now after last night's game. Talk about overreacting. That is overreacting right there. That is what I do. Hell, I used to call Monday shows Overreaction Monday. I got to bring that back. Today is kind of like an overreaction show. Sixers got to shock the world. Eagles drop the ball. Eagles are dropping something. I don't know. I don't even know what. I've completely avoided today as much as I can the Eagles. I really have. The Eagles have been a frustrating topic this week. They really have. So I tried my best. I focused on the Sixers, the Phillies. I dabbled with a touch of the Flyers today. I made some wrestling references. I tried to stay away. This is AJ Brown, all the drama circulating, Chris Cartoon. Hey, I'm just over it right now. I've been out on them after Embiid got hurt. I said they might miss 40 wins. Man, that would be dreadful if they didn't get the 40 wins. They got what? They're 53 games into the or 55 games in the season. So that means they got 27 games left. And they're 32 wins. So 27 they'd have to get 8 wins to get to 40. Wow. Could you imagine if they didn't get to 40 wins? That'd be a bad stretch. I'm writing my article for tonight. I have to control what I write. They're the worst right now, no question. They're cooked without Joel. Yeah. So what's the deal with AJ? I've been stupid busy. He might be tweeting about the team and bad things and locker room issues. His account might have been hacked, but yet it might not have been hacked. But it might have been hacked, but it might not have been hacked. I don't know. I don't know what to believe in the AJ Brown situation. I don't. And it's just driving me nuts. Like, it makes my head hurt thinking about all this drama. We have an elite, talented team. Yet we're dealing with high school drama in the Eagles right now. And nothing annoys me more than high school drama. It really does. Yeah. It's valid, Tim. It's valid. It's a valid worry, valid concern. They have a tough schedule. They had a tough schedule right out of the break here tonight against the Cavs and the Bucks and the Celtics. Man, what's South Philly going to be like when Doc Rivers, who can't win a game, and Pat Beverly, who panders like no one else, shows up to Philly and whoops up on the Sixers this weekend? What's everyone's going to be feeling about this Sixers team when that happens? I bet you on Monday people are calling for Nick Nurse to be fired when that happens. When he gets outcoached by Doc Rivers on Sunday. I can say it. I don't know, guys. Once again, we're going to start the wrap-up process of this show here. But I do want to say one more time, happy birthday to my wonderful wife, Melissa. I hope you enjoy your day working because we got to work. Sorry. And happy birthday to my sweet Penelope, my little girl. She's 13. She's my adopted Penelope. She's a dog. I don't want you to think I got kids or anything, guys. But Penelope and my wife, Melissa, their birthdays today. So happy birthday to them. Very, very appreciative of them. Love them dearly. They play 17 of their final 28 games against really good teams. Yeah. I've said it. Their schedule of the Sixers is difficult. Tim, we got to link up, man. I got to get you on the show. I could do a full 90 minutes with you doing anything, talking all these topics. We're going to have to link up and figure out a day for you to come on here. I have no more guests scheduled other than Justin on Wednesday and Kylee on Fridays in the next couple weeks. We got to get you on here. But anyway, everybody have a great Friday. Everybody have a great weekend. Make sure you come see me at Fox's Pizza this weekend if you want to watch the Phillies tomorrow. If you want to talk sports and have a great lunch or dinner, come see me. We'll be back next week. Who knows what the agenda will be? I'm sure we'll be overreacting to the Sixers on Monday. We'll see what happens with the Eagles this weekend. We'll see what the Phillies put out this weekend. We'll be back. We'll be back on Monday. We'll have a lot of fun. At least the Sixers will get a top 10 pick in the draft. Next week, yeah. Let's get it done. Let's get it done, Tim. Anyway, guys, with that, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet, whatever, wherever you're watching. Everybody have a great weekend. For Philadelphia Sports Network, I am Phil Stiefel, and we will see you on Monday. And even though we didn't talk them today, let's go Birds.